this new for 2025 Integra-sized subcompact crossover from Acura, the ADX, is the fourth SUV to enter the premium brands lineup. The ADX is meant to bring new customers to Acura with its feature-rich interior and loads of space. Will it? Let's take a closer look. This is a 2025 Acura ADX A-Spec with advanced package. Looking at the front of the ADX, it's instantly recognizable as an Acura. We do have the diamond pentagon grille right here in front, and it does have this really interesting pattern. It's very three-dimensional, and a massive Acura logo in the center, no doubt hiding adaptive cruise control tech behind it. I do like the pattern that's baked into the front grille, and I think gloss black is a nice and bold choice. I do also like the now quite recognizable chicane daytime running lights right here. You can see it, it's a big part of this very long headlight assembly right there. And because this is an A-Spec, we have LED fog lights down here and gloss black interior trim around there. But there is an additional piece, this added front lip right here. So here's the line right here. This added lip right here, that's actually a $400 accessory. This front spoiler lip right here that's on either side. Staying down low, the lower grille is open, except it's not all the time because those are active shutters several inches behind the front of the grille. But up higher, much of the pentagon grille is indeed open, and you can see right through the radiator there. When you look at the hood itself, I see a lot of Integra in the shape of the hood, to be sure, and there's a lot more similarities to the Integra when you look underneath it. Because just like the Integra, underneath the hood is a turbocharged 1.5 liter inline 4-cylinder engine, transversely mounted or side to side like that. The ADX is of course inherently front wheel drive, though this example is all wheel drive. It makes 190 horsepower and 179 pound-feet of torque at its peak, which is actually below the Integra, which makes 200 and 182, but it is close, though I must say I am a little disappointed in that number. The front axle center line meets with this little rubber gusset right here, so more than half, but not all, the engine is ahead of the front axle center line. It's actually not quite so bad. Also, the engine is tucked down fairly low in here, and that does actually help for chassis balance. This is better than expected weight distribution, to be honest. We have 58% of the weight up front, 42 in the back. That's because this is all-wheel drive. It's 60-40 otherwise, but to be honest, I was expecting 61-62% of the weight to be up front, so that's actually a pleasant surprise. We have a fuse box right here, a wrapped battery right there. Down low, there's the ABS pump against the firewall, and a super beefy engine mount on the passenger side, along with our 0W20 labeled oil filler cap right here and the dipstick right here. Finally, windshield wiper fluid is way off on the passenger side, way over here. Looking at the ADX in profile, this gives you a good look at the $600 optional color Urban Gray Pearl. I have seen this on a few Acuras now, and I do have to say I like the color. Because this is an A-Spec, aside from the very obvious A-Spec logo we have right here, we do have more gloss black to look at. You see it particularly at the base of the fender flares on the front, across the base of the side skirts, and on the back here. Then you see it for the C and B pillars right here. It's not so much here in the A pillar. This is body colored obviously, but we do have gloss black window trim as well, and it's gloss black like if you can see the moonroof at all. We do also have gloss black on the side view mirror covers right here, and because this is an A-Spec with advanced package, we also have black wheels. I'll look at those in more detail in a moment. There is a lot going on design-wise in profile. First of all, this crease in the hood extends to the front quarter panel right here. then comes to a stop, and then you go down a couple inches to meet the base of the windows, and we have this small ridge right here that runs across and gets a little bit narrower as it goes to the back. We also, starting from just below the A-Spec badge right here, we have another crease that goes through the door handles, and on the way back we have another that starts right at the front of the door. It's like an indentation almost, and then it meets the rear door and then tightens up again right there. That's an interesting pattern. We also have a very subtle, but it is there, fender flare for the front axle and a more pronounced fender flare for the rear axle. This one, you see the bulge here right at the top of the door, and it comes down, comes out, and gets a little bit more pronounced as you go through to the back of the car. The back of the car gets a little bit narrower here. It's on the busy side, this design, I have to say, but I will also add that I think it's executed well. So overall, I think it's a nice shape. This is a long SUV for being a subcompact crossover, and you can see a lot of that length in the rear and front overhangs. That's a little bit longer than average. I will go ahead and put the dimensions up on the screen for you to see and let you know that I have a lot more information in the description. Base wheels on the ADX are 18 inches and they are pewter gray. Once you go to A-Spec, you get a 19-inch wheel, but that one is in shark gray. Because this is an A-Spec with the advanced package, we still get a 19-inch wheel, but now it's in Berlina black, this nice gloss black, and I think it really looks nice on the ADX. This is one of my favorite styling details of this crossover. And we do get this, you know, reasonably looking all-season tire to go with it. It is a 45 series section width tire, so not huge, but, you know, not bad. It'll absorb some bumps to be sure. And yes, fundamentally, this is a subcompact crossover, so the wheels and tires in back are the same size as what's in front. Looking at the ADX from the rear, we have one more accessory to point out. It's actually largely on the side, but it's these little rear spoiler accents right here. And, you know, $375 adds a little something to the car. So sure, if you like it, that's cool with me. We also have even longer tail lights. They stretch quite a long bit, and this lights up, really bringing not quite full width, but most of the width of the rear is lit at night. A much more tastefully sized Acura logo back here before the license plate holder is inset in a bit. This is a tastefully sized roof mounted spoiler. These things are on every single crossover that I can think of. They're just everywhere. But now we get to the bumper and we get more gloss black and dual exhaust tips here, but they're a little loud, they're a little excessive, they are also real. So I think it's a nice look, to be honest. We have these beveled tips, nice metal, nice chrome, so really I'm pretty happy with that. If you're gonna go dual tips, do it properly, just like this. They are tips. It is a single exhaust back to get over the rear axle, then they split. These faux rear diffuser bits right here, that's a touch over the top, but really it fits the rest of the car. And honestly, this is tastefully done. So execution wise, I think Acura did a really good job. I honestly think this is one of the strongest design elements of the car. It looks sharp. And a big selling point for the ADX is how much space you have inside. So let's check out cargo space. We do have a button right on the key fob, but we also have a button right here. Standard equipment is a power tailgate on the ADX, and it reveals 24 cubic feet of space. Pretty darn healthy number for an SUV of this size. And if you look under the floor, you get these added compartments right here built into this foam. Look farther back, we do have a jack and a wrench and a tow hook, those kinds of things, but no spare tire that I can see. We do also have this lovely little funnel right here if you want to add more fuel to the car in an emergency. Looking under the styrofoam, we do in fact have a real space saver spare underneath. Nice. Privacy panel looks easy enough to remove. does require a little bit of tugging, but with it out, you get a better sense of the full space. It does have a bit of rake to it, so the amount of space you have the roof is a lot smaller than you do at the base, but it's not bad. It's not super steep, so that's a healthy amount of room. And you do also have a 12-volt port for power on the passenger side. That's always lovely. If you need more than 24 cubic feet of storage, that's very easy to do. Open the doors, pull a couple levers, and you have 55 cubic feet of storage. And I would guess enough room for my bike, but let's find out. Well, width doesn't look like an issue. Nope, pretty easy to fit in width-wise. Oh, and length's not really a problem at all. Yeah, that actually slides right in. Length was my concern because it's a subcompact, but it actually fits in without much trouble at all. So yeah, plenty of room for my bike. Room to spare, in fact. All right, let's take a look inside. Because this is a big for a subcompact crossover, I am cautiously optimistic about space inside. And at first glance, it does look like we have above average legroom in here. That's nice. We also have this orchid interior with these blue accents right here. And I think that's a really nice color combination. It's really nice to see something other than a black interior, to be honest. And there is still black in here, of course, but this orchid color really helps differentiate it otherwise, and I really appreciate that. Also, because this is an A-Spec with the advanced package, this is leather material on the seats. I am 5 feet 11 inches or 181 centimeters tall, and you can see that I do have a good 2 or 3 inches of legroom, and this seat on the passenger side is actually set pretty close to what I'm comfortable in the driver's side. I do currently have the easy ingress egress system on, so this seat is actually farther back than usual, so I'd actually have more knee room than that usually. Considering everything, the seat bottoms are a little lower than ideal, so thigh support is only okay, and that does mean that I have right around a 90-degree bend in my knees. But on the plus side, I do have headroom. And that's despite having this moonroof right here in A-Spec and higher ADXs. Aside from that, we do have 2 USB Type-C ports right there, and these are 60-watt USB Type-C ports, so pretty darn decent amounts of power. And beneath that, nothing but space. But we do also have a center armrest with cup holders, so yeah, it's fine back here. I don't think I'd want to do a road trip in here as an adult, but a shorter trip wouldn't be a problem at all. All right, to the front. One additional accessory that this particular ADX has is the Acura logo projected onto the pavement there. I know you can't really see it right now. Let me show it to you at night. That is a $190 accessory. Aside from that, we have some interesting patterns on the door here. More of that orchid and blue right here with a lot of black on the trim. We do have 2-position seat memory along with the normal controls on the door right there. One feature that I really like is the folding side view mirrors. That's a nice touch. And here is a reminder that this has the Bang & Olufsen sound system. That is courtesy of being an advanced package as well. I do also like this metal A-Spec kick plate right there, and plenty of adjustments in the power seat, including lumbar support right there. Always appreciate that. We do have a couple buttons to the left of the steering wheel and stainless steel pedals, and steering adjust tilt and telescope manually right here. Always an Acura strong suit. The seat itself does look quite cozy with nice and fat upper and lower bolstering right here to hold you in place well. The steering wheel itself is a nice and small diameter and a nice and thick rim, and because it is an A-Spec, it is a flat bottom rim right here that says A-Spec on it, and because it's an A-Spec with the advanced package, it's also a heated steering wheel. We do also have paddle shifters, upshift on the right, downshift on the left, but we don't have gears. We do have gear ratios, but this is a continuously variable transmission. So these are a little bit phony in my book. Push button starts right here. And as the turbocharged 1.5 liter kicks on, there you see our fully digital 10.2 inch digital instrument cluster and our 9-inch center display. Both of these screens are standard equipment on the ADX, and that means that wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto is standard as well. A moonroof is also standard, but to go panoramic moonroof, that is A-Spec and higher. And since we're up here, we do have an electric privacy panel, and it's lovely. Heated seats are standard equipment on the ADX. Ventilated seats are A-Spec and higher. But the dual zone climate control system is again standard, as are the USB Type-C ports, the 12-volt port right there, and this 15-watt wireless smartphone charger right there. Because we have an A-Spec with the advanced package, we get Google built in as part of the center display, which is Google Maps, Google Play Store, and Google Assistant. Speaking of assistants, the advanced package also has Alexa built in. Being a fully digital instrument cluster, of course, it is also configurable. All I have to do is scroll this dial right here, and I've got many options to look at right here on left-hand side. If I want to change the right-hand side, I use this dial on the right side, and I can change what's on the right side. And you can see both sides have many different options. Of course, the center display has a lot of different options as well, and Acura spoke of a quick processor, and as you can see, it seems to respond to my inputs nice and quickly. One thing worth showing, you can add up to 6 shortcuts onto the screen to help you get to things quicker than you otherwise would. So you can see right here, frequently used shortcuts, tap here to switch. Here are all the different things you can use, but you can apply the shortcuts to this right here. So if I want Google Assistant up there, I just hold it down and move it up there. And let's say I want the multi-view camera. And how about the trip computer? So you can see I can adjust these things as I want. I think that's clever. That's a nice way to set up this display just as you wish. I can also edit the home screen. So I can move it around in the same way I can edit what this is. So you have a lot of control of where different apps are in the center display, and I think that's nice to kind of personalize the car a little bit to your wishes. Back to the fundamentals, we have this one cup holder right here with this slot right here that works well for a smartphone. Beneath that, we have our individual drive mode plus our other drive modes right there. We'll talk about that more in just a moment. We have the auto stop start off button there, hill descent control, and then our electric park brake right here, right next to the fairly standard looking Prindle, and then another big and deep cup holder behind that. And past that, we do have a center console that is just storage, but it does go pretty darn deep, so it is a healthy amount of storage. Looking up, there are the controls for the actual moonroof and the privacy panel right there, which I already showed you, and we do also have a sunglasses holder. All right, let's talk drive modes. We have a few: Sport, Normal, Comfort, and Snow. We do not have an adjustable suspension in here. So this is the way the transmission behaves, the way the steering weights up, and the way the engine responds to the throttle pedal, throttle map as it's called. As I showed you, we also have a 5th drive mode, individual, and if I press and hold, this shows what you can configure in the individual drive mode. Oh, and I just noticed that the center display gives you nice little graphics every time you switch drive modes as well. Isn't that lovely? So there you have it. The brand new 2025 Acura ADX. I think Acura did a really good job with the amount of space you get. 55 cubic feet with the second row folded is healthy. Easily swallowed my bike. I was happy to see that. The interior, yeah, it's solid. I appreciate getting a heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated seats. And the fact that we have a lot of USB ports and they do supply a lot of power, that's nice as well. And I do also like this orchid with blue accents. It looks nice, and it's a nice change from the fairly dark interiors that are quite common. Will it sway buyers? I really think that will depend on the drive. And of course, you can go to my drive review to see how that portion of things worked out. But it will also depend on cost. The base price for the base MDX is $36,350. Moving up to this top A-Spec with advanced package trim makes it $45,350. And my test car did have the paint and the accessories, and that cost $46,915. So you are paying a pretty penny for this. But it's a pretty penny for something that will maneuver around a city with no trouble at all, be easy to find parking for, and yet offer a lot of space inside. And yeah, it does have a little bit of luxury in here as well. So ultimately, yeah, I do think there is a lot to sway buyers here. I'm Robin Warner. Thank you very much for watching.